Hello, in today's video we're going to be discussing what is it like when a band makes a movie. So I have 3 films here and we're going to discuss each one and see if a band makes a movie, is it actually good. So before I start the video I want to say that these will not be concert movies such as The Kids Are Alright or The Song Remains the Same by Led Zeppelin. So it's not going to be anything like that. The first film we have is actually Help by the Beatles. So to sum the movie up quickly, Ringo has this ring on his finger, and it's if you wear the ring, you have to get sacrificed. Then people try hunt him throughout the movie, trying to get the ring. So that's pretty much it summed up. This is the official soundtrack that goes with the movie. So side 1 is in the movie. The quality is quite good for a 1965 movie, in my opinion. If someone didn't know who the Beatles were, or didn't listen to their music, you could definitely show them this movie and they'd probably be interested. Yes, every now and then they'll be in the studio or something like that recording a song. Apart from that, the movie has its own plot structure based away from the music. That wasn't the best critic. Up next is my favourite movie we're reviewing today, and that is actually Pink Floyd's The Wall. So obviously this is based off the double album by the band released in 1979, and this is a lot darker than Help. Help being its own plot, it has its own story. This and the next movie are based on the album, because obviously as the album tells a story, this obviously is revolved around the songs and the track listing. So in a way, if you listen to The Wall, it can be quite confusing. If you want it to be summed up, watch the movie. So summing it up, basically, Pink, the main character's father, dies in a war, and he just has many struggles in life. I won't name all of them here, but at one point he builds an imaginary wall around his head, so like he blocks out communication and stuff. So he's like just in his mind. It's just him in his mind. Then obviously it's not good for him. And then during the end of the movie, he has a trial, which is to try and break out the wall. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything, so if you want to see it, obviously watch the movie. It's probably somewhere out there, probably in like Prime Video. I would also like to add, this movie is pretty weird in its own ways. Next, we have an even weirder one than The Wall, and that is The Who's Tommy, released in 1975. Now, this film has it all. Elton John, Tina Turner, Deaf, Dumb and Blind Boy. As I said, that The Wall was based off the album, concept album, so revolving around the track list, unlike Help, which is its own plot. His father dies in the war. Trying to spoil anything here, and that like shocks him for life, traumatizes him, so he becomes deaf, he becomes dumb, and he becomes blind, which are obviously the 3 words that are most common in this movie. Throughout the movie, he tries to get cured by the Acid Queen, and at one point he becomes really good at pinball, so that's when the Elton John scene and stuff. And then eventually he wakes up and he can, he's not dumb, he's not deaf, and he's not blind anymore. And then he becomes, I don't know how to explain it, he becomes a sensation, that's the word, it's even one of the lyrics of the song. But he becomes a sensation, and like people follow him, and then he opens his own camp, and then I'm not going to say what happens next. So I'd say this movie's a lot weirder because of the beans coming out the TV part. That's obviously weird. Weirder than The Wall, weirder than Help. So is it any good? Is it worth watching? Obviously, as I said with The Wall, if you don't really understand Tommy, because towards the end, I'd say when he gains his consciousness, miracle cure, and gets back to like normal, or when he becomes a sensation, it can be quite hard to figure out what's going on. But same with this movie, at the end of the movie where he becomes a sensation, it is really confusing for me because it's just really random, but still not sure if I can piece I'm not sure if I can piece the ending of this movie together. So those were 3 movies that I talked about in this video. We started off with Help, The Wall, and Tommy. Tommy was actually nominated for 2 Oscars, so that's a fun fact. So this was released in 1965, 10 years later, 1975, and in 1982, you have The Wall. So overall, I'd say The Wall's a lot darker, Tommy's a lot more weird, and Help isn't revolved around the track list on the album, it's got its own plot. And so, are these any good? Can bands make a movie? Obviously, I am very aware that they obviously had a production team and stuff, and obviously other people directed it with them. But Because if you look at Tommy, it says people that obviously wrote the movie, co-wrote it. Because obviously Pete Townsend wrote Tommy, Roger Waters wrote The Wall, and the Beatles helped produce Help. So overall, I'd say they're worth the watch. If you like the band, it's worth watch. And if you're not too sure about what these concept albums mean, watching the movie can surely help put perspective on what's going on. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video and make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.